Hello, you cute little cats and kittens. Guess who? It's me, it's Kate. And welcome to the jungle. This isn't the jungle, this is just my mother's garden. I thought I would do a review of Tiger King. Da-da-da. But I know I'm quite late on this, many weeks late, but I was really trying to avoid watching it, TBH. Because I tried to avoid... I don't know. I just knew it was going to be hectic, and it was hectic. And I did watch it actually on a day when I was very hungover, and I'd lost my phone, and I was very panicky, and it made me quite tense, but like quite an enjoyable wild ride. You know, the person who I feel sorry for the most is Rick. Rick, the director. Because Rick thought that was his retirement, and then only bloody Netflix have gone and stolen his whole idea for a show and made loads of money off it. What about old Rick, eh? But yeah, what a wild ride from start to finish. And I felt like I changed my mind. It was a bit like Serial, the podcast. You change your mind every episode, like whose side are you on, who do you like, who do you not like. Obviously, there's freaking Mr. Doc Man with his cult of wives. And then the drug character. I quite liked the Cuban. Was it Cuban or Venezuelan? Whatever. The guy that said he was based on Starface. I quite liked him. Yeah. If you told me at the beginning of this that the person that would become the voice of reason throughout the whole thing was the same person that got their arm bitten off by a tiger and then went to the hospital, who said we can do reconstructive surgery on it, and they said, no, amputate it, and was back at work 5 days later. If you told me that was going to be the voice of reason, I wouldn't have believed it. And I'm obviously talking about Saf. Saf, bloody voice of reason. He's the only normal person in the whole thing, and you wouldn't have thunk it. And also, saying that, where's Saf's bloody, work memes? The same way Andy King... Fire Festival documentary. Bloody loved Fire Festival documentaries. Hulu, Netflix. Watched both of them twice in the space of a fortnight. That's 2 weeks for people that don't know about fortnights. Yeah. Andy King was absolute hero for maybe going to go and suck off the Bahamian customs officer who probably didn't even want him to suck it off, but didn't, for some Evian water, and everyone was like, what a hero, will do anything. Saf lost his bloody arm. Where's Saf's memes, eh? Is what I want to know, firstly. There was too much, really. There's the whole political thing, which I have a lot of thoughts about. There's too much to delve into. But I am going to say, just as a thing, you know, we all might think Joe Exotic fucking... I'd like to say I love his hair. Haircut is great. I feel like it's very Berlin. Do you know what I mean? Very, Berlin lesbian vibes. I feel like blonde mullet. I love it. I'm, super proud of the haircut. And also, you feel like you can look down at Joe. Joe has had 3 husbands more than I have had. And all of them are really hot. I can't catch a bloody break. And Joe's managed to get 3 of the hottest. I mean, admittedly, there was the one that had, no teeth and was just, covered in tattoos. But I thought he was quite cute, you know. But the other 2 were stunning. And, yeah, I would. Though one of them spelt his name funny. He was called Dylan, but he spelt it Dillon, which doesn't sound right to me. Doesn't seem right. But yeah, good advertisement into maybe start luring men with meth, you know, and you can get a husband. So good tips on that. And then obviously the big elephant in the room, tiger in the room, the big lion in the room, Carole Baskin. Queen, icon, should I say? The iconic Carole Baskin. Do I think she killed her husband? Well, Yes, I do, but hear me out. I'm not sure I care. And that's not that people should be killed and fed to tigers, but I'll just tell you for why my reasoning. First of all, she met him when she was 20 years old. She was walking barefoot down the street, crying, running from her. I couldn't quite work out how many. Everyone had a lot of husbands. Everyone, full stop in this thing. Just had a lot of marriages. They should come to Berlin and do some polyamory time. Yeah, so she's escaping second husband, who she had to throw a potato at to get away from him because he was so violent. So she was walking down the street barefoot crying. Husband that might have been fed to tigers, dries up and says, do you want to get in my car? She says no. And then he goes, and then he comes back a second time. Do you want to get in my car? She says no. And then comes back a third time, gives her a gun and is like, you can hold it at me. I just want someone to talk to. And first of all, making it all about yourself. If you want someone to talk to, don't find a vulnerable 20-year-old wandering the street crying. And obviously she needs someone to talk to because she's walking around the street crying, firstly. And also, take bloody no for a bloody answer. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying... What am I saying? I'm not saying that people that overrun consent should be fed to tigers, per se. But just take no for an answer. And if you had taken no for an answer, maybe you wouldn't be in the meat grinder, you know? So anyway, those are my thoughts on Tiger King. Hope you're all well.